Mukti Ranjan Roy, the prime accused in the horrific Mahalakshmi murder case in Bengaluru, has allegedly died by suicide in Odisha on Wednesday. The accused had reportedly been hiding in Odisha since the murder. Ranjan's death note was found at the place of his suicide. Now, in the death note, he confessed that he had killed Mahalakshmi. Roy is accused of murdering the 29-year-old in Bengaluru. He had been on the run following the crime. It is alleged that Roy, who was in a relationship with Mahalakshmi, killed her after they broke up. Mahalakshmi's dismembered body was found in a refrigerator at her apartment in Bengaluru on September 22nd. The murder came to light after her neighbors alerted the police about a foul smell emanating from the apartment. Roy reportedly hanged himself in Buyakpura in a village in Fundi of Odisha. He had returned to his village on Tuesday and his body was found hanging from a tree near Pulepada graveyard on Wednesday morning. The accused allegedly cut Mahalakshmi's body into over 30 pieces. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Vajiola. Vajiola, this was a complete shocking murder that happened in Bengaluru. And now it looks like the prime suspect has died by suicide. So technically, is the case now being closed?
Well, we're not sure whether the case has been closed or not. The police has not said anything on this, but it looks like the police has the suspect who they were looking for, because he was one of the person who was missing in the entire link. The family had put out 4 names that they had a suspicion on, and they had also spoken to all these other people who were a part of that suspicion. But this was one particular person who they were not able to get in touch, and what they also learned was they used to work together in a mall, and where Mahalakshmi was the manager, and these two were also having an affair, is what we've been told. And on the day when she had an off, which is the 1st of September, which is the day before she went missing, on that same day, even the Mukti Ranjan Roy had also taken it off, is what we've been told. Now, the death note has been found from the suspect, and in that note, he's confessed to the crime. He's not said why and everything, because we've not been told about the reason. But from what we've understood from the police sources is that he had spoken to his brother after he had committed the crime, and he had told him what he had done, and he had confessed to him. And after that, he had gone off to hiding in his village, and he was there. And I think it is after he saw what was happening in the news with regards to that, he decided that it is high time that he has to commit suicide, because it is believed that he was alive till a day or 2 back. He was at his house, and after that his body was found. Initially, the Odisha police also had no clue who he was. It was only after they were contacted by the Bengaluru police and there were details that were given about this particular person, is when they realized that the suspect that they were looking for has committed suicide. Now, what we also know is that he had shocked the body in more than 50 pieces, is what we've learned. 59 pieces is to be precise, is what we've been told by the police. And the reason why this happened is believed to be that there was a pressure from her to marrying him. There are 2 reports, speculative reports, that we're getting from our sources. One is that she was forcing him to marry him, and the other is that he was unhappy with the fact that she was speaking to other people also. Now, these things have to be collaborated. Everything has to be stitched together. The reason why Ranjan committed suicide, what was it behind, whether there was guilt or it was something else, all these things will have to be pieced together. That is when the police will be able to close the case. Right now, we only know is that the suspect, this person who they had suspicion on, has committed suicide. Now they will have to piece together why they had suspicion on him and why do they believe that he was the murderer. He had made his job. He has made the job of the police a little easier by confessing it in the crime, but that still has to be collaborated by the police, and that is when they will be able to close this case for this.
Well, also, there were other suspects that were associated with Mahalakshmi. Now, will it continue with an independent verification as of now? Because what we know is that Ranjan was one of the suspects in that long list of suspects that the police had drawn, because they were in fact looking at the people with whom Mahalakshmi is said to have been having acquaintances with. So clearly it looks like they'll have to have a full report on this, trying to figure out and also to overrule the role of others as well.
Well, yes, Vagis, when the entire incident happened on the 21st of September, when the body was found, the family was asked about the fact whether they have any suspicious with regards to anybody, and that is when they'd given out four names. And the police immediately set up a team of, set up six teams to look into this entire matter. And one of these teams were in contact with these people who they had a suspicion on. They also spoke to them, and in that the police also learned that these suspect who the family believes to be a part of the murder were somebody who had not been in touch with Mahalakshmi for a very long time. They had confessed in that confessed to the police that yes, they knew Mahalakshmi, but for the last couple of months or more than that, they've not been in touch and they had no idea about her. And they had also told that they were friends with Mahalakshmi. What we also know is Mahalakshmi, the neighbors of Mahalakshmi also used to say that a friend used to visit her. Now, who was that friend? Whether that was Mukti Ranjan Roy or somebody else, that the police will have to find out from the neighbors with the present photo of him and with the fact that he committed suicide. So all these things the police will have to confess, but they have spoken to all these suspects who were there, and out of which this was one particular suspect who was missing since the murder. This is one particular suspect whose call records also matched to Mahalakshmi's before the murder. So all these things have to be will be put together. What we also know is Mukti Ranjan Roy had first killed her by suffocating her, and then after that he had chopped the body into so many pieces and then put it in the
Right,
fridge,
right,
and he
right.
had got acid to clean that entire place so that there is no evidence over there. So it was a well thought out murder by him. But now with him committing suicide, it now remains to be seen how the police will put this thing together.